You go to LouRockwell.com. That's the exclusive place to get Bill Sardi's amazing health journalism. He'll be with us a little bit in the next hour. Whistleblowers, Roger, Matt, Tim, Steve, your calls are coming up in the next segment. Bill, you got cut off by the break when you were making the point that they need a crisis. They need a war to fight, an excuse to distract us, to divert us. We know Mexico was on the edge of rebellion. Then they hype up a few deaths down there and lock everything down. It's the perfect thing to make everybody the potential enemy and only the government are the good guys. So, but it sounds from what you're saying and what the evidence shows that this is blowing up in their face, that 2/3 of people aren't buying it. Go ahead, Bill.
You know, Mexico is ready to implode. You see the crime, and then they got everybody to just head inside and stay inside. Worst thing you could do, you want some sunlight and vitamin D to get outside, but it was a good way to do this. Pay attention now to history. When Argentina was in financial trouble, what did they do? Declare a phony war in the Falkland Islands. So be aware of this. If you're learning about history today, Alex Jones trying to tell you that societies in trouble, losing control of their population, are going to create distraction, reasons, false reasons to close the banks and to create a crisis to take advantage of it. Didn't the president's main man there say he was going to don't let a good crisis pass by? So, you know, we need to be aware of manipulation by government. And for all of you who are good Americans, who are loyal to the flag and everything, remember our country started with skepticism about government. And so, you know, we need a healthy skepticism. Sure, we're loyal. Sure, we're good Americans, and we believe in that Constitution that limited federal government and intrusion into our homes, into our finances, and so many things that are now, of course, just passed aside under the idea of a phony crisis. So I want you to all see that and understand what we're trying to teach you. You know, in the past, people have said, well, you know, there's a crisis, so buy gold or whatever. This is for real this time. You can see it from the government's own massaging of the news media, which is their front man for this whole thing. And by the way, they're losing grip. We see a repudiation of government. And what did they come out and say? They're going to shut down the Alex Jones show. That's basically what they said, because the General Accounting Office comes up with some phony scheme that, Americans are going to be so sick they're going to run home and they're going to jump on the Internet because they're not at work, and then they're going to massively take up all this bandwidth and shut down the Internet, so that the government is going to have to shut down the Internet in part to keep that from occurring. They wouldn't be shutting down the Alex Jones show, would they? They know that these alternative news sources are getting people to back away from the flu shots, and they're trying to find any way possible to shut off this information. You can see from ABC to NBC to CBS to whatever news source, CNN, Fox News, they're all following the party line. The Centers for Disease Control issues the press releases, and this is what the public hears. There is no good reason to have the seasonal flu shot. Did you hear that from any of the news sources that you rely upon? You should have heard it. And your young children now at risk for side effects only. First, do no harm is the rule in modern medicine. So thank you, Alex Jones, for having me on so I can say this. If I am right, look at my articles, you'll see that the U.S. government hid the largest flu epidemic. It was a mortal flu epidemic in 1993. It set back the life expectancy of Americans for the first time since 1918, the year of the Spanish flu. It had a dramatic decline in our life expectancy, which went unexplained. No other news reporter catches on to this. I go digging into it, look at morbidity, mortality, weekly reports, the government's own data showing there was a late flu season in 1993. It struck older adults in nursing homes, killed thousands of them. And what was it? It was the first year that Medicare paid for flu shots in nursing homes. That's what triggered it. It was a mortal, deadly flu vaccine. Because it would have set back the flu vaccination program, they hid the whole thing. And not one reporter in the United States reports on this. You can go to the Centers for Disease Control, look up mortality rates, the life expectancy in the United States, you'll see it went down dramatically in 1993. It was the flu shot that caused it. And by the way, tracking all the way back to 1918 now is Dr. Karen M. Starko, allowing us to see what really caused all those deaths in 1918. It was treatment-related, as she's showing that Bayer, the big drug company, was marketing aspirin that year. The AMA promoted aspirin for treatment of the flu. The people were overdosing on aspirin, 8,000 to 31,000.
Stay there, Bill. We're going to come back with these bombs you're dropping.